No doubt the Warriors of Chaos are an iconic piece of the Warhammer franchise, one of the most iconic pieces, some might say, so it's great to see somebody taking some champs. And here we've got Scarbrand the player taking Archaon the Ever-Chosen, and the Warriors of Chaos here. He's got a bunch of aspiring champs as a front line, some Marauders, it looks like Hellstriders of Slaanesh, and the Knights of the Brazen Throne, probably one of the coolest cavalry units in the entire game, and right now, definitely quite good. Yeah, 70 speed makes them quite formidable. And then looks like we got some Forsaken kind of acting as their counterpart in the opposite flank, and more Hellstriders against Durthu's Wood Elves. Durthu here with the Loix Tricksters, interesting choice. Couple of Wildwood Rangers here for anti-infantry armor piercing. Some Glade Fire, Starfire Shafts. Yeah, Glade Fire Shafts, sure, we'll go with that. Eternal Guard, and some Glade Rider Spears. Immediately, Archaon's going to be throwing a little Burning Head down. That will catch multiples of these units, and Wood Elf player here actually flees the wrong direction into the Burning Head, takes a massive amount of damage, as does Archaon on the approach here. One thing it should be noted, Archaon does cause terror, so he is going to be buffing the weapon strength of these Wildwood Rangers. He comes in, takes about half his HP in damage, and is immediately going to need to get the heck out of there. Yeah, ooh, like 3/4 of his HP in damage in just a few seconds. Definitely quite painful, but the disruption has been pretty real. The Hellstriders able to get a pretty good engagement against Glade Riders here, using their anti-large bonus to great effect. And they also pull Durthu pretty far away from support, while the Knights of the Brazen Throne just crush some Starfire Shafts here. Then immediately switch to get a little rear charge into these Wildwood Rangers. Champs charge from the front, and they definitely have the stats and splash attacks to hang in this engagement. On their own, they would be mincemeat for the Wildwood Rangers, but here with plenty of support, they should do okay. Oof, Knights of the Brazen Throne also took a severe amount of damage right now. These Hagbane Tips and Starfire Shafts are absolutely feasting in terms of value, but the Hellstriders starting to turn that around, maybe, perhaps, get into the back line. Slowly but surely, the archers are being worked down. There's just now a couple of them left, and there's more targets than they can focus. So Knights of the Brazen Throne going to move back in. Hellstriders also kind of switch over and then hop onto the right target, just bypassing the Eternal Guard pretty much. And it's all chaos. Cavalry chaos, which is what we'd like to see. There's a Waystalker out there who somehow is in the wrong place at the wrong time, gets smashed by Archaon in just a couple of hits. And Durthu's still going to be a pretty big problem, I think, for the Warriors of Chaos. But the champs right now are doing a really nice job. They've been able to grind through a lot. Yeah, you can see the Wildwood Ranger, even here without support, the Marauders plus champs are able to kind of just win that engagement, which, I mean, it do cost more, right? I forget exactly how much champs are these days, but yeah, it's interesting for sure. Archaon's not going to let up, chase that Waystalker off. And, oh, the Knights of the Brazen Throne, they see the Loix Tricksters momentarily unbraced. They're going to capitalize on that, use their massive, well, mass and speed to just do a huge shock charge and then immediately pull away before the Loix Tricksters can turn around and pull them apart like a delicious cinnamon roll. Anyway, Forsaken here. Eternal Guard, not going to be a good matchup for them. And yeah, looks like the Warriors of Chaos are now in a position they can shut down a lot of the priority targets. Durthu's still going to be a huge problem, but we'll see how he can fare in the late game. Maybe some Flaming Swords here. Doesn't look like he has Flaming Swords, but maybe just Spirit Leech in that case to try and pull Durthu down. Yeah, right now, Archaon getting a nice Burning Head on the pursuing Loix Tricksters. Placements have been absolutely on point with that, running in, and himself just chasing off these last two Glade Guard as well. Yeah, you can see the Hellstriders over here. Looking pretty good. Forsaken also going to get a really nice engagement on these Glade Guard Starfire Shafts. And it's pretty much just ignore Durthu at this point and kill everything else, and then hope you have enough to kill him in the late game. Try and preserve as much to kill him in the late game, I should say, as possible. But also chasing routing units, definitely super important. We see Archaon continuing to do so there. We see Knights of the Brazen Throne. Oof, they lose one, maybe two unit models on that little charge there, but still manage to make contact. Along with the Hellstriders, they rout that last Glade Guard. And so it's up to the infantry here Yeah, the champs. See, gonna get set, start fighting Durthu. They're 41 melee defense, so 53 melee attack. Durthu's got a decent hit chance against them. But because they've got so much HP per model, they're not gonna get one-shotted by him. And they will continue to fight. You can see there, they're not even really getting knocked over that much. And they also deal magic damage, which is going to bypass the physical resistance of Durthu. So, this champs... Oh, no, wait, they don't do magic damage anymore, huh? I guess they took that away at some point. That's actually crazy. Wow, I'm actually very surprised the aspiring champions don't do magic damage anymore. Interesting. Oh, it's because of the Ancient Protector. Okay, I thought I was going insane here. Okay, so this Ancient Protector ability for Durthu, I forgot that this was added. That's right, negates magical weapons within the area of effect. So normally they would be bypassing his physical resistance. Because Durthu has this now, he basically has damage resistance, effective, melee, so... Yeah, Archaon does still have his flaming attacks. We'll see that in action in just a minute here. Let's fast forward a little bit as both players kind of clean up whatever they can. Archaon going to run around, avoid the Waystalker, just keeping some Spirit Leeches up on Durthu. That's certainly one way to get some damage in at least, while avoiding combat with Archaon as much as possible. Again, just chasing routing units, making sure nothing can come back. A little bit of Flock of Doom there. Honestly, you know, as much as the Flock of Doom is less efficient against the aspiring champs because of their models, still would probably cast it on them over anything else at this point, considering that the most high value, you can hit two of them with it at the same time, kind of offsets the low efficiency somewhat. Yeah, you can see there, with the Flock of Doom and with his own fighting prowess, Durthu is able to overcome the champs. It's not like they're too much for him, by any means. Eventually does rout at least the one unit off, but it's more so about just the champs holding him down at this point, so that, yeah, Durthu can get Spirit Leeched by Archaon. Archaon can just run around and use his magic at a distance. Hold down the Great Tree Lord, and so far it's doing okay. Of course, Archaon can move in for a late game risky engagement if he really needs to. Right now, yeah, this is a smart thing to do. Just let the champs take it and Spirit Leech him down. Very, very safe and smart thing to do, for sure. So Scarbrand ends up winning that one out with Archaon, and a beautiful build, I have to say, even though Knights of the Brazen Throne didn't necessarily pay for themselves. I love the pick of them. The champs did pretty much pay for themselves. 226 kills on the Forsaken as well. They can be a really excellent pick against the Wood Elves, and I do think maybe the Wood Elf player should have prioritized shooting them a little bit more. I know he had a lot of priority targets to shoot at, but one or two volleys could have definitely lessened the impact that the Forsaken had throughout the course of the battle. Obviously easy for me to sit here and say that. But, yeah, the champs were champs for sure. Durthu is also a champ. Get 3,000 damage value on him. And he's pretty much the bright spot. A couple of the Glade Guards are going to do all right, but the majority of the army damage actually comes from Durthu, which is not super surprising. But let's just finish up with a discussion about champs themselves. Not too expensive, but they're enough that you have to be a little bit considerate about how you use them, right? They are on a similar cost tier to like a Shielded Chosen. The Chosen do actually have better attack and defense stats. They don't have the weapon strength or splash damage or the magic attacks. Okay, so I wasn't going crazy. But again, they also have a little bit less HP overall, but way more HP per unit model, right? Because they're a heroic unit. So it's just a little bit different. There are some situations where, yeah, that the shield, the extra HP per model does mean that little bit of extra cost below the regular Chosen. They're also faster than regular Chosen as well. That's probably something a lot of people might underrate. So definitely consider aspiring champions in some matchups. I think Wood Elves is a decent matchup for them. There are a couple others, maybe something like Tzeentch. You probably get some pretty consistently good value as long as they don't get roasted by something at range. You know, you have something to deal with like your flamers and whatever. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.